Alrighty, Ingrid. It's been lovely chatting with you a little bit off the screen. And then we also chatted yesterday in reference to the role and the duty that it entails. So, Ingrid, I would love for you to kickstart our interview and tell me a little bit about yourself and your professional experience.
Sure. Well, as far as the kind of like administrative, obviously, project coordinator
Mhm.
road, I've been kind of have experience in it for over 10 years. My last position, I was a project coordinator where I kind of more was like doing the administrative project duties, where anything from proposals, I would go ahead and create the proposals, receive the information from our clients or from our salesperson, as well as our vendors, subcontractors, kind of put them together, and then, of course, be able to go ahead and submit that for the clients. I also, once the proposal was won, as we speak, when it's been obviously moved into order, then my job was also to go ahead and initiate that particular that order with the client, and then be able to just do a gap analysis to make sure that what they want and understood what they order was something that we are meeting their business needs as well. So, and of course, from there, move on as far as initiating the project as far as what budget wise and any type of changes that we needed, updates that we needed, information that could have been, or documents and so forth. And of course, just kind of more also monitoring the activities, make sure that we took care of deliverables, excuse me, during that time, and as well as collaborating with all of our different departments to make sure that we are obviously meeting the budgets, um, reportings, and what else, as well as supporting obviously my team as well with any other things as far as onboarding processes for new clients. And I think that's about it. I mean, there's
Yeah.
more.
No worries. That was a great introduction, Ingrid, as far as what you were doing over at the Smurfit Westrock Corporation, which you were there for about 6 years or so.
Right.
Now, you mentioned some key things, which is also part of the role that you're applying to, which is as it was your support for the project managers, the application managers, and the sales team, right? Because in this role as well, that's what you'll be doing is supporting the sales team in funneling down those either customers or clientels,
Mhm.
so that they can go ahead and sell their products. So you already have that instilled in you because you've done that along with your administrative duties. Now you're creating, those proposals. Were you having communications via, phone, emails, in person? What do those communications look like?
Those communications came through a queue. So in other words, the we had a distribution email that everything came through, and it was general questions, concerns, and of course, obviously, proposal request. They came into a kind of like a form, and from there, based on the information that I was receiving, I would go ahead and start creating that proposal. Sometimes the proposals will take a little longer because the information I receive, I will need more detail. So therefore, that's where my gap analysis and do my research as far as, well, do you need another vendor? Do we need a vendor for this? Do we need a vendor for that? Because not everything was um, cookie cutter. There were some that may require a custom size or a customized adjustment. So therefore, it was up to me to decide, well, based on what you're requesting, what suggestions or what I can think, how we can go ahead and create this and make this possible for them. So
That
yes.
makes sense. Perfect. So it was through a queue. It was like an automated or a distribution email.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Now you've worked in this in industry such as this for many many years. So I can only imagine that there's a lot of multitasking. Which also in this role that you applied to, there's a lot of multitasking, right? To where you're supporting, the phone lines, emails, perhaps clientele who walk in, you're doing invoices, right? Or providing them credits if need be. So when it comes down to multitasking, how well do you work under that type of pressure?
Actually, I think I do very well. I try to prioritize based on obviously severely the levels of it. So if it's something that requires immediate attention, then obviously I want to make sure I focus or take or carve the time to make sure I take care of that. But then of course go ahead and make sure that I can, as I'm waiting for a response or waiting for a resolution, that I'm working on something else. That way, at least I'm utilizing my time management well when it comes to it with multitasking with these things, and also just when it comes to meetings, when it comes to kind of just doing it any type of updates or anything like that, use outlooks to make sure I'm scheduling my time and make sure I'm sticking to that time frame, which also helps me multitask as well, because at least I know that if I'm doing this meeting, I can also obviously I need to prepare for it, so it just requires a lot of wear a lot of hats, and just be able to do a I call it a shift. I have to
Yeah.
constantly shift myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for sharing that. Now, you mentioned the system that you've used being Outlook. What are some other systems, if you don't mind sharing, that you are familiar with or have also used?
And the other tools that we have used throughout my years is also Salesforce. Salesforce was one of our biggest project management tools that we use. We I also use Smartsheet. That helps as long as far as being able to lay out or lay out timelines for any projects that we have. Also, Javar as well. We use that as often, and to be able to communicate. Also, SharePoint, kind of signing action items or task activities, so that way I'm not forgetting, or the person that I need to count on to help me finish the activity or complete my activity successfully. I'm making sure that I'm actually coordinating with them, so that way at least I'm keeping track of that. Um, what other tools?
Perhaps Excel?
Excel, yes, I'm sorry. Yes. Excel, Outlook, it's just
Beautiful.
yeah, that's we also had what's it called? IFS at one point, or AS 400, which is another tool as well. It's more of a database, but however, on the back end, we used it for our to finance and budget the projects, as well as invoicing, to track the invoicing. So you know how sometimes the budgets, you need to have a down payment, and there's a certain milestone that they have to have a prior to shipments, and then of course the last delivery. So that allows us to maintain and track those particular activities, so that way we're keeping on top of it during the time of the project cycles as well.
Absolutely. You're very well versed once again with that. And it shows, right? It's proven, especially in your work. Well, my last question for you, Ingrid, is going to be when were you looking to start a new opportunity?
Oh, anytime. I mean, I am. Yes, at the moment I'm in between, so I am actively looking for an opportunity. So yes.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
That's amazing, Ingrid. Well, again, it was a pleasure speaking with you and getting to know professional experience a bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this interview, but don't hang up. Don't hang up on me really quickly. I want to chat
Oh,
with you
okay,
off
sure.
screen. Thank you.